What's up, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Toy Room Renovation right here on the Slam Sessions on YouTube. I'm your host, Albert Albanese, and this week we have a loaded show coming your way. That's right, a mess of additions to my collection, hopefully some updates, a whole bunch of stuff going on. So this week should be a pretty big one. So just to kind of keep you guys up to date, normally, as I've been saying, the goal of this whole thing is to document my process on the evolution of my toy room. And as you guys have seen over the past couple of weeks, I've shown you, a bit of an insight into what I've been doing and what my room looks like. It looks like a disaster in this place. I might not have a lot in ways of updates this week because I kind of have to start straightening this place up so I can kind of get a big visual of what I have, where I have it, how I want to display it, and figure out if I need to change anything around. So that's going to kind of be one of the things I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks, is doing a lot of cleaning up here. So I might not have as much in ways of, updates and how I'm displaying things, but it's updating the room so that I can get ready for all this. There's also been a couple of thoughts that I've had going through my head about how else I can display up here. So I've been trying to think of different ways to do some certain things. If I can get some of that off the ground, I'll have a little bit more room and I'll be able to kind of play around a little bit more. So we'll see. But that's all for the future. I just wanted to give you a general overview of what I'm trying to work on. But every week we start with one thing. What's new in my collection? Let's see what it is this week. Here we go with our purchases for the week. This is the updates of what's new in my collection, and the first two are going straight on the Bray Wyatt tribute shelf. All right, so as you can see, there's Braun Strowman. This is the Wyatt family version of Braun Strowman. This will go right up on the Bray Wyatt tribute shelf. I really like this Braun. It's a really good incarnation and a really good showing of what he looked like when he was in the Wyatt family. It's got his brownish pants, even has on the inside, he has those little inserts on the pants. You see his back. Just a normal singlet or whatever. He's in really good shape. It's a basic, but, I think that it looks pretty good and it goes pretty well with what is going to be up there. And this Randy Orton, I get it. A lot of people are going to be like, well, Albert, this isn't even the right time period. And it's not. It really isn't. So this Orton, as you can see, it's got a blank. This is a basic actually as well. But the thing is that they've actually updated their basic figure. So I kind of wanted to get a couple of the newer basics to see how they looked. And this is so much better and so much nicer than the older basics. And they're doing even more with articulation and extra stuff in the new basic series. So I'm glad that I picked this up because I really like this Randy Orton. And here's the thing about Randy Orton. His look really doesn't change. So this could really kind of go right with what I need it for and blend right in, and no one would even know the difference. So I'm going to put it up there for now. At a point, I probably will get another one to kind of be a little bit more towards that time period. But for right now, I think this Randy Orton's perfect. And speaking of the newer series WWE Basics, this is the newest Bill Goldberg WWE release. So this is a WWE era Bill Goldberg, which is perfect because I'm going to need that version of Goldberg for my Hall of Champions shelf. So as you can see, for a basic, this looks really good. I think the articulation is done pretty well. As you can see, the arms are a little bit different. I think the joints are a little bit different in the arms than they had been prior. So here's an older Braun Strowman. As you can see, it's changed a little bit. So the range of motion, I think, is a lot wider on these newer basics. The legs look good. It comes with the knee brace on the back. It has the Goldberg symbol. It's got his tattoo. It looks really good. I think it's going to fit in really well with the rest of the Hall of Champions shelf. This isn't something that needs to be like exact, and Goldberg's, gear when he was in WWE hasn't been too crazy. So I think it'll fit right in with everybody else. But overall, for a basic, I'm very satisfied with this purchase. Our next purchase, I think I previewed a little bit last week. I said that I was looking into getting some of these Legends and they were pre-ordered. Well, I pre-ordered this Greg the Hammer Valentine, and he is here. This is the Rhythm and Blues Greg the Hammer Valentine. As you can see, the jacket looks great. Look at how awesome that looks. It's got the hammer on the belt. It says Greg Valentine above, the hammer above and below. It comes with a guitar. I'm sure it's probably breakable. The boots look really cool. He comes with a pair of sunglasses. This is a really badass Greg Valentine figure from a point in Valentine's career where you really don't see a lot of stuff. We know that the Rhythm and Blues Greg Valentine Hasbro is a holy grail item. Matt Cardona has one of the only ones in existence. This is kind of based on that same kind of a time period. As you can see here on the back, Greg Valentine spent much of his career as a loner, but in 1988 he dyed his trademark blonde to jet black and picked up a guitar to form Rhythm and Blues. I actually think that that's a bit incorrect. I believe that they formed at that time, but I don't believe Valentine dyed his hair until the 90s. Maybe I'm wrong. I kind of feel like it's later in the Honky Tonk Man's run in like 91 that he dyes his hair. So maybe I'm wrong. But if I'm wrong, you guys can tell me. Either way, what a super cool figure this is. So well done. Mattel's been knocking it out of the park with these Elites, and I love this Legends line. And speaking of WWE knocking it out of the park, this is Big E, the WWE champion. As you can see, the World Championship comes with Big E, and it even has, it's hard to see, but that's, I believe it says Big E on the side plates, or it's his custom side plates. It is. It does say Big E. It's very hard to see. You can see the word big right there. It's a little bit difficult to see, but it's on there. Looks super cool. The gear is awesome. I love the face scan. Super happy from winning the World Heavyweight Championship. On the back here, as you can see, the Powerhouse of Positivity dreamed big, shattered the glass ceiling, and ruled Raw as champion. This is after he cashed in his Money in the Bank. As you can see, he's got that gear on from the figure in the back here. I believe this is what he wore when he won the championship, so I'm super glad to add this to my Hall of Champions shelf because Big E definitely deserves to be on there. One of my favorites of all time, and one of the most deserving guys ever to be on a Hall of Champions shelf. All right, and next up, speaking of the Hall of Champions, is the People's Champ, The Rock. This is right around that time frame when The Rock had his pec surgery, and of course he wore that big tracksuit. So you can see they included the tracksuit along with a bunch of hands. Closed fists, he comes with C grips on, just bring it hands, and I believe underneath that's the open hand as well. So we'll see when we take it out of the packaging. Obviously, I'll be taking this one out of the package. Unfortunately, this came with a little bit of a mark on the pec over there. That's something that's unavoidable. Unfortunately, when it comes to things like that, there's really not much you can do when you're ordering online. I'm going to put the tracksuit on him anyway, so I think that'll kind of cover. The one thing I am going to say that I'm a little bit disappointed, it comes with the sunglasses, it comes with the microphone, but I really wish it came with the World Heavyweight Championship title. He was champion during this era wearing this tracksuit, so I kind of wish it came with that, but other than that, I really do like this. I think it's a great figure. See on the back, it shows him here with his sunglasses on and the mic in his hand, and of course, you know, a nice photo of him at the time. So I'm really excited to take this one out and put it up on my Hall of Champions shelf, and I'm even more excited about getting to put the tracksuit on it and getting them all set. So this is a great purchase. Can't wait to pick up and display this one. But this isn't the last figure from my Hall of Champions shelf that I got this week. That's right, for the Hall of Champions shelf, we have Rob Van Dam. This is one of my favorite gears that Rob's ever worn. I have a shirt that's very loosely based off of this kind of gear. I believe this is the gear that he won the World Heavyweight Championship in, and that means a lot to me because I was actually there when Rob Van Dam won his World Heavyweight Championship at the second incarnation of the One Night Stand ECW pay-per-view produced by WWE. So as you can see, what's super cool about this is if you look at the title, the spinner is actually off. Now, I don't know if this spins or not. I don't think it does, but I think that, you know, because it did spin, it's not exactly set in stone. I kind of like that that looks like that. He's got the Rob Van Dam thumbs down there. It comes with a steel chair, 2 alternate heads. This one is, you can't really see the face really well, but this is like if he's kind of doing a high-flying move. He's got his hair up in the air. And that looks really cool. Let's take a look at the back. This is obviously the Ruthless Aggression line, as you can see right here. Shows him holding the championship. And there it is. There's the picture from the show that I attended. That's Rob Van Dam at that One Night Stand show when he wins the World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm very happy that I have the WWE Championship Rob Van Dam that I can not only put on a shelf with the rest of the WWE champions, but it's also a figure from an event that I went to, which is a collection that I'm kind of going to start. I've kind of briefly started. There's a couple of new figures coming out, and I'll probably be getting them because I went to those events, but this specifically is a holy grail kind of a figure for me. So I'm glad Rob Van Dam came back to the WWE family so that they can start producing figures for him. And I'm really glad they chose this specific one. And my final purchase this week, Razor Ramon Ultimate in the red and yellow Intercontinental Championship. A whole bunch of alternate heads, some alternate hands. We've got the Scott Hall walk hands. We've got the Scott Hall thumbs hands. We've got regular fists. We've got C-grips, the Intercontinental Championship. The gear on this one looks sick. I love the yellow and the red. This is actually my favorite Razor gear of all time. I like the head that's on there, but I think my favorite is this one here. I feel like this is way more of the Razor Ramon kind of a look that we're used to. So I think that's the one I'm going to put on him. This is going to go in my new gen collection. This is going to go in the ring with everybody else, with the Shawn. So here's the back that you can see. He's got the thumbs up with the Intercontinental Championship on. And, of course, they talk about him oozing machismo and flicking his toothpick in people's faces. Great figure. Awesome for the time period. This is where he wins the Intercontinental... if I'm not mistaken, this is the gear he wins the Intercontinental Championship in from Shawn Michaels. Or at least defends it. So I'm really excited about adding this to my new gen display. So as you can see from the front here and from these brackets here on the side, this isn't the same shelving that I usually use. And that's because the shelf that I had up here wasn't really working well. I'm not 100% sure that this is going to stay this way. I might put this in a different spot to give me a little bit more room. But as you can see, I put on either side, I put the Bludgeon Brothers up there as well. In the back, you can't really see too well, but Randy's back there. You can see it actually from this angle right there. And of course, the new Braun is up there as well. Can't really see Matt Hardy's face too well, so I'm probably going to have to redo a little bit. But this is kind of just up there for right now. Deciding if I'm going to keep it like this or I'm going to put a couple of different shelves here, or if I'm going to try to move things around. But as of right now, I like the way it looks. I like the way it's laid out. I don't like that you really can't see Randy back there, but other than that, everything else is pretty good. So I'm going to probably leave it like this for a little while, but it's a really cool Bray Wyatt shelf. Nice tribute to Bray, all of his characters, all the members of the Wyatt family that have ever been in the Wyatt family. Bray's tag partner, Matt Hardy, when they won the tag titles. We have Firefly Funhouse Bray. We have The Fiend. We have, the original Bray, the Eater of Worlds. So, and of course, the Brody TNT championship figure as well. So I'm really liking the way this looks. It's a nice little tribute to the late, great Bray Wyatt. All right, the next thing I did is I put this Razor Ramon here in the new gen ring. So as you know, I had the Shawn Michaels here the last time, but I kind of turned him around to kind of face Razor. This looks like the Intercontinental Championship ladder match, showdown, kind of the feud that these guys had. So I really like the idea of having these guys right here. I put Razor on the apron. I think it looks really cool. They're kind of looking at each other as opponents at this point, because I think it kind of highlights their feud. I think it really works well for Razor and Shawn. So I really love the way this Razor looks, and I'm really happy with him in the new gen setup. Okay, so obviously, as you guys can tell, there was a specific figure I could not wait to open, and that was this Rock. So look how cool this looks. I mean, this is just toyetic in the tracksuit. I put the glasses up on the head. He's got the Just Bring It hand going on with the Raw is War mic in his hand. This is going to be so cool to add to the Hall of Champions shelf. I think it's such a badass look for The Rock. And it's different. It's toyetic. It's, something that he doesn't wear all the time. It represents a very specific period in time, and that period in time was a big deal for The Rock. This is, the feud that he had with Mick Foley over the World Heavyweight Championship, so I really like this Rock. The other thing that I just realized is that Hell in a Cell Mick Foley is kind of right around that same area. It's not too far away from the Hell in a Cell match that Mick ended up having, so maybe I can put that Mick Foley up on this shelf. And as you can see, this Hulk Hogan has made its way to the shelf. There's two of them here. And I know that you guys might be wondering, well, why is that? Well, that's because I put this Hulk back here with Mr. T. I think that this is a much better representation of Hulk Hogan and Mr. T when they team together. I think it's super cool to kind of put those two together. I think they look a lot, more similar now with the red shirt with the yellow highlights, not the other way that we used to have it where it was the yellow shirt with the red highlight. So I kind of put this Hulk here. And I think it looks a lot better. It goes a lot better. Obviously, as we all know, this isn't staying here, but I decided that I'm just going to put it up there. Another thing that I did is I just put Terry Funk, DDP, and this Shawn Michaels up on this shelf real quick. I just didn't want them on the floor anymore, so I kind of just put them up here. There's no rhyme or reason. This is a miscellaneous shelf anyway, but there's also another excuse to just show off how cool this MJF and Punk look. But yeah, also I really wanted this Terry Funk out there, so I'm glad that I got to put him out. All right, so that brings an end to today's episode. So as you can see, I didn't get to do a lot of putting things out, but I did open up a lot of stuff. I did get a lot of purchases, and at the end of the day, I'm going to really have to make some decisions on how I'm going to do everything up here. I realize that I have that Cody Rhodes in my, raw roster, shelf, but I also have this other Cody Rhodes up here, and I've been thinking about what I wanted to do with it. This guy right here. And I realized Cody won the Rumble. I need a Cody for my Rumble shelf. So maybe I'll put that Cody up on the Raw shelf and I'll put the other Cody on the Rumble shelf. I'll figure that out. But I also have the Bruise Cody. But I was thinking, I made that comment about the Mick Foley being in the same time period. But I have the Three Faces of Foley pack already pre-ordered. So maybe I'll use that for the World Champion Mick Foley. I'll use the other Mick Foley on a different special shelf with that other Bruise Cody maybe. I've got some decisions to make, some ideas to kind of come up with, but at the end of the day, I have all the time in the world. Like I keep saying every week, pretty soon I'm going to be living at my parents' house for about a week, just, during the renovations of my apartment. So during that time, I should probably get a lot more done and kind of figure out what I want to do. But now I have an extra shelf to put up somewhere. So we're going to see what we're going to do with that, where I'm going to put it, how I'm going to make things work. But at the end of the day, next week's a new week, right? Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for your support, for liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.